Hi, I'm your host, Gary Williams, Director of Corporate Communications here at Durham Region, and you're listening to the first ever Stuff You Should Know About Durham Region podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we are joined by John Henry, who is a Regional Chair and CEO of Durham Region. Thanks for being with us, Chair Henry.
Well, thank you for the opportunity.
This is our first ever podcast, so you are the first ever guest, so we're honored to have you as our first.
Well, you know, it's great to be first, but we've got such a great story to tell. So I'm excited about being here today and about providing some information on all the things that have happened over the last period of time since we declared an emergency.
Excellent. Well, let's get right into it. Let's talk a little bit about the COVID-19 pandemic and the regional response. Where are we right now as far as our response to this pandemic, and where do you see us going from here?
Well, I think there's a couple parts to this. So the first part is that the region delivers services to our residents throughout the entire region, whether it be water, wastewater, police, paramedics, traffic control, health and social services, all of those things that we do on a daily basis. And then all of a sudden the challenge of COVID comes. So this organization was able to not only maintain the levels of service that we had and all the avenues that would be part of the day-to-day operations of the region, but then also adapt, change the way we do business to do that and meet the needs during this pandemic called COVID-19. So it's been a real amazing journey. It's been a learning experience for our teams here at the region. You know, we had to go from a building that was open for business to a building that was closed to the public, and then create those opportunities for contact. So, you know, we quickly moved 1,400 people out of regional headquarters. So our call centers relocated from our buildings, but we were still able to deliver all of those services, whether it be through health and social services, paramedics, police, water, sewer, all the things that go on behind the scenes that nobody talks about. So I'm really proud of the effort and the work that our teams have done to create almost a seamless delivery of services. When you call into the region, you don't know that staff person is not working in this building, and they're providing the professional information that you need when you do that. So it was about reinventing an organization that in some businesses that model might have taken a couple of years. We did it in less than 2 weeks.
And that's really the very interesting part about this is that, you know, we switched very quickly to teleworking, and as you mentioned, it's been incredibly successful. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that that switchover, which was amazing and quite a large undertaking, why do you think that was such successful in the region of Durham?
Well, we have such an amazing team here at the region. So our staff comes, they come to work and they have this skill set that allows them to do that. And, that's exciting. As technology has changed, the region was able to adapt to those technology changes, and we had things in place. And we've got a number of major things that were going on, whether it be 311, our call centers, and how we're going to change that model of service delivery that's in the process now. But we've got this talent pool that's able to adapt really quickly. So the learning experience for us is that, if this challenge continues, or in the future, this might not be the challenge we have. There may be other challenges that will affect us, that we realize now that using laptops and docking stations will be something that we'll be going forward with in the future, changing how we use technology within our buildings, being able to adapt to social media platforms, whether it be Zoom or even FaceTime or WebEx, being able to conduct all of those meetings. So on a typical day, staff members now, wherever they're located, are sitting through 4, 5, 6, as many as 9 meetings in a day without ever leaving their office here if they're at the region, or leaving their home. So being able to adapt to existing technologies has been a great thing. The learning curve was very, very quick, and we didn't miss a beat. We still continued to deliver all of those services and augmented our services during some difficult times. We look at what's gone on. We've hired people during this pandemic. We've hired when we closed our our long-term care facilities to family members and volunteers, quickly through our HR department adapted and changed to hire an additional 230 people to meet the needs of our long-term care facilities. And then within the organization, staff members that weren't able to continue working in the environment they were in for whatever reason, we were able to utilize them and repurpose their skill set to another part of the organization, moving 500 people on very short notice to other parts of the organization and adapting to that, and really continuing to keep the great work that the region delivers to our residents. And then it's the people behind the scenes. We see paramedics and we see police officers, we see our road crews out there, but you don't see the staff that work in our long-term care facilities or in our water treatment plants or wastewater plants. The teams that are out that are repairing the roads. And it was their effort too, because all of a sudden you're going from a crew of 4 people in a truck going out to do a repair to 4 trucks and 4 people doing a repair, practicing social distancing on the street, but still making sure that that broken water pipe is fixed or that pothole is repaired, those traffic lights are fixed.
Yeah, it's been quite the effort. And recently this week we hear that the province is now shifting gears and gearing up for phase 3, and we now know that Durham Region isn't part of phase 3 quite yet. But what do you see that being for the region when we eventually enter phase 3?
So, this is a very interesting because we were a week behind for phase 2. So I would expect that we'll be 1 week behind for phase 3. But, the challenges that we're having in the region, today is a great day. Today you're looking at it's the 15th of July. In the province, there was 102 cases in Ontario. That's the lowest since March 25th. But in Durham Region today, there's no new hospitalizations. There's no new cases in ICU, and we only have 6 new cases in the region of Durham. So, going forward, it's important to understand that even in phase 3, just because you can't see it doesn't mean that this COVID-19 virus doesn't exist. And if you look at what's happening outside of Canada and you look at other countries around the world that haven't done what we've done, they have entered into they either haven't finished their phase 1 or they left, went into phase 2, and now they're going back to phase 1. You just have to look at the numbers in Florida, Texas, California, around the world, hotspots that have happened. Here in Durham, we still have to remember that wearing face masks, practicing social distancing, washing your hands often, not touching your face, not gathering in large groups is still important. And we're all in this together. It is really a team effort. And if our staff here and our residents, and we do all the right things, maybe there'll be a day where we have no new cases in Durham Region. And then we'll have a week and maybe a month. And then we'll know that this is gone. But it's really a huge team effort. And in the meantime, this organization is still delivering vital services to the residents of a region that's half the size of Prince Edward Island. That an area, Clarington alone, you could fit the entire city of Toronto in the municipality of Clarington. So I'm thankful to our staff, proud of our residents, and this is really a good news story that we are now going down the backside of that mountain. But we need to make sure we continue practicing all the things that are important.
So you mentioned masks, and we're just shy of a full week with Dr. Kyle's announcement that masks are now mandatory in commercial establishments. Why? And we've obviously had some residents that are having trouble with that order and voicing their concerns. Why do you think this order is so important in protecting residents and protecting businesses as far as wearing a mask?
Well, if you look at Dr. Kyle and Dr. McTavish, our medical officers of health, and the great work that they've done. But in Durham Region, this isn't a bylaw. This is comes from an order that was issued by Dr. Kyle, who is our medical officer of health, based on the data and the science that he's collected. But more importantly, you need to look at around the world, the number of experts now that are saying wearing masks make a difference. Look what's going on in other provinces in Canada, including Quebec. Or now look at what's going on in the United States, where they're calling, and they are having mandatory mask orders in different locations throughout the United States. But some of the experts that are out there that's saying, by doing this, it's just another tool in the toolbox that helps us. It's like washing your hands, not touching your face, not going out in large groups, and practicing social distancing. And I understand how some people may feel that this is an infringement on their rights, but it's not. This is about looking after your friends, your family. You know, it's like you get into your car, you put a seatbelt on. You get into a boat, you put a life jacket on. This is just another tool that will help protect people around you. And you know, for those people that have challenges in their lives from a health perspective that aren't able to wear a mask, you know, they can state that. But just because you think it's wrong, it doesn't make it right. And you know, we don't want to go through this again. Our economy is now bouncing back. You know, people are getting back to work. You can see more and more people on the roads. But if we have to go through this again and go back to where we were and have another shutdown, our economy and our country will not be able to manage that. It will be far more devastating than the challenges that we've had already.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the economy, and obviously this has been an incredibly challenging time for economies all over the world. If you talk about, you know, their struggles and the fact that they had to close their businesses for months at a time, how do you feel our local economy is doing? And can you talk a little bit about the supports we have in place at the region for our local economy?
So, you know, I come from the business community, and you know, I have lots of friends that still operate their companies, and they talked about the challenges that they were having and the struggles. But one of the things that we've done here is the region, in not only just through our economic development department, but let's talk about what we've done here as a council. You know, we got 150 significant projects that the region was going to do out the door that has now created work and opportunities for companies that do roadworks and water and sewer and a number of things that literally put thousands of people back to work. And by keeping our planning staff working in our works department during this pandemic, we were able to get that out the door. So that work is being done, and you can see construction on regional roads throughout the entire region. And then our economic development department, who quickly realized the challenges that our boards of trade and chamber of commerce and BIAs were having, developed a number of tools. First step was they started to collect data so that we could provide accurate information to the province and to the federal government about the challenges that businesses were having in Durham Region. And Simon and his team did an amazing job. And then the partnerships with the boards of trade and chamber of commerce and the great work that they've done with their members, getting the information that is the accurate information to their businesses. And then continuing to keep our website the most informed website within the region for accurate information related to whether it be in COVID tracking to Invest Durham. And then the opportunities they've done to modernize businesses, provide the information, helping them to become businesses that could put their companies right onto the internet, so that you could go from a company that had never really had any internet presence to a company who is now delivering goods right to your home and practicing social distancing, dropping them off at their doors. So the great work they've done at helping all businesses, including our agri community that has still continued to supply food and grow vegetables and do all of that, and helping them get to where they need to be. The problem with business is the technology has always been there, but it's a struggle to manage your business and do this at the same time. So our team here in economic development has helped. They've led the way. We've gone to downtowns of Durham and produced an amazing video recognizing our downtowns and in some of our smaller communities. And then, what they've done within our communities, and not just urban, but in rural as well. It's been an amazing learning experience for us here at the region. And it goes back to the talent that we have here at the region, that we're able to do all of that very quickly. They were collecting surveys in less than 2 of, the emergency order that was put out. And then from there, we have been able to provide information to the provincial and federal government at a very fast rate, accurate information about the challenges of the economy in Durham Region.
Well, let's switch gears for a second. Let's talk about you. I know you've been incredibly busy trying to connect to as many people as possible and keeping the connections with the business and our economy. But what's been the biggest challenge for yourself during this incredibly unprecedented time?
So I'm really proud to say that there's 2 parts to this. So utilizing technology in a different way has actually given me more time in the day to do things. So, if we were to, for example, every Monday, the mayors of the GTHA, large mayors, Mayor Tory, and the chairs, we have a conference call. Now, in order to get together, 6 months ago, we would have all got to downtown Toronto. We would have met for half an hour, and then we would have had to get home. Well, to get to downtown Toronto for me and to Toronto City Hall is an hour and a half each way, and then a half an hour meeting. So, you're up to 3.5, 4 hours. That's a challenge. Now we do that in a 30-minute WebEx meeting. So, we'll have as many as, I've had as many as 9 WebEx meetings in a day, or Zoom, or whatever platform we're using. So we're able to meet, do more. The traveling, we're not traveling. So I'm here in my office because everything I need is here. So I'm here every day, Monday to Friday, and then I'm available by email and phone really 24/7. So for me, it's about making sure that the accurate information has been out, being available to answer questions, working with our chambers, boards of trade, and mostly here at the region, working with our teams. All of our decisions are not made by one individual. They're actually coming together in groups led by, Elaine Baxter-Taher, our CAO, and the great, we have commissioners, we have our economic development, and it's really a team effort, and we work together, and we'll have a number of meetings each and every day, talking about the region, where we are, where we're going, what's working, what's not working, how do we fix things, and it's immediate. Everybody can schedule meetings through each other's calendar. We can send a Zoom invitation out immediately, and stuff that might have taken a couple days or longer to coordinate, we're coordinating in an hour, and that's exciting. Using technology to advance how we communicate, how we get things done. And then our availability. If you've got my cell phone number, then you have a challenge. You can actually send me a FaceTime message or call me, and we're interacting live. So doing more, advancing tech. It's been a great learning experience because we've all been forced to learn technology that we would have not normally been used. And I think what we've done is I know that I am squeezing more time out of every day than I ever have before, because I'm simply not having to travel. As a director on the AMO board, our last board meeting was done this way through video conferencing, and that saved people from north of Thunder Bay having to fly into Toronto for a meeting, or come in from all over parts of Ontario, and you can imagine the time it saved for them. Literally, they would have saved a day of traveling and a day going home. So now, when you look at the connectivity across the province and the country, and how we're able to connect with our members of parliament and our federal, our provincial and federal members of government. If I need to talk to Peter Bathenfalvy, I can just create a time and we're done, and it's there, and we do it all online now, and the efficiencies that has made and created has been unbelievable. And going forward, we're going to have to really rethink how we manage our buildings, what we're looking for in the talent and people that we hire. And for young people today, they're graduating from university and college, their skill set is very different than when we graduated, and their ability to do more things is simply amazing. So capitalizing on that too. And then for us, we've realized that we have some problems. We need to invest some time and energy into making sure that all of our team here at the region has the proper skill set to do what they need to do, and that continuing education is a big part of what we do, and making sure that our teams are informed. And then continuing to work with our chambers and our BIAs and our Board of Trade. Our small business drives the economy of this country. It's great when you have a company that employs 300, 400, 500 people, but there's a lot of companies that employ 10 or less. So we need to make sure that they have the skills and the tools that they need, and working together, we can do that. And going forward, there is a big light of opportunity at the end of this tunnel. It's been a challenge to get where we are now, but going forward, it's an exciting time. And I think for us in Durham, that we'll be looking back at this a year from now and saying, my goodness, look what we've done, look what we've accomplished, but look where we've gotten to. Look at the technology and how we've been able to really reinvent an economy, simply from even sending a message to someone anywhere in the region and having your package ready for you at a curb or in a parking lot. It's pretty exciting.
It is exciting. Well, I'd like to thank you for your time today. We'll definitely have you on again. So hopefully you're willing to jump back on this podcast and provide us with some insights on what's going on in the region.
Be my pleasure anytime. It is, it's a difficult time, but our future is bright, and together we will get through this. I just want to tell everybody, stay healthy, stay safe, and stay Durham strong.
Great. Thank you very much, Chair Henry.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.